Welcome back to Trans Guy Reacts. My name is Nick, and I make videos about women's basketball, collegiate or professional. And today I'm going to talk about the games for Sunday, May 26th for the WNBA. If you are new to this channel, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. I don't have the comment section open because I'm a trans man, and that leaves me open to trolls, and I'm just not here for that. I make these videos because I love women's basketball. I've been a fan for 20 plus years, and yeah, I just really enjoy talking about it and sharing like my feedback and my perspective. Although it's pretty biased, but no one's unbiased. And yeah, let's get into it. So there were two games on today. First was the Minnesota Lynx versus Atlanta Dream, and love to see LaChina Robinson and Angel Gray call in the game. I think they had Tanitra. I don't know her last name, but another woman. Oh, I got a text message. You might hear that, unfortunately. Um, calling the game anyway. I like seeing them calling the game. They're the usual Atlanta analysts, so I love to see LaChina especially. And Angel Gray used to play basketball in college. I forgot what team she played on. I want to say Duke maybe, but yeah, now she's an analyst. So the score, I mean, they were going back and forth. It was pretty even, to be honest. At the half, it was 51-47. Lynx were up on Dream's court. Unfortunately, Cheyenne Parker Tyus and Alicia Gray were starting to get a little bit of foul trouble in that first half. I mean, they both picked up some. I think Cheyenne had 3 and Alicia had 2. But even though the Dream were shooting better in terms of their field goal percentage, the Lynx were getting to the line more in terms of their free throws, so they were up. And then looking at the box score there, Tina Charles and Ryan Howard were in double figures, but Nafisa Collier, Alana Smith, and or sorry, not Alana Smith and Kayla McBride were also in double figures, so that's like 3-2. And then Dream still don't have Jordan Canada. She has this right hand injury, and she is like really the floor general. She's not on the floor, so that's really hurting them. The Dream did get the score down in single digits late into the fourth quarter, but it just wasn't enough, and Kayla McBride was just like going off. She was playing so well. I actually forgot to get the final box score for this game. I should look it up right now. The final ended up being 92-79, and really the Lynx were doing great from the start. They shot 13 threes. 13 threes. And they went on to be their record right now is 4-1, and the Dream is 2-2. And yeah, let me look at the box score for this. For the Atlanta Dream, Cheyenne Parker Tyus had 10 points, 8 rebounds. Tina Charles had 14 points. Ryan Howard had 23 points. And then Nas Hillman had 9 points, and so did Ariel Powers. But for the Minnesota Lynx, Nafisa Collier had 20 points. Alana Smith had 17 points. Oh, Nafisa Collier had 20 points and 8 rebounds and 7 assists. Damn. And 3 blocks. God damn. All right. Alana Smith had 17 points. Kayla McBride had 31 points. Jesus. Courtney Williams had 9 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. So yeah, just like a lot more even shooting. Unfortunately, Sika Kone and Elisa Pili and Olivia Opupa did not play for the Minnesota Lynx, but everyone played for Dream. Although Letitia and me here only played a couple of seconds, so I don't know really why they put her in the game, but they did. And then moving on, Lynx, by the way, they're just killing it right now. They're gelling really well. And Dream is doing fine. I'm kind of surprised they lost this game by so much. They just didn't have it today. But moving on to the other game of the day, it was the Dallas Wings versus the Los Angeles Sparks. Crypto Arena was pumping. I mean, it wasn't full. It wasn't a sellout, but they had 10K in the building, so it was great. Love to see the crowd. There was a lot of kids there with their parents, not just like for a camp day. So I love to see the youth coming to the games. Unfortunately, as per usual, Cameron Brink was in foul trouble. She had 2 fouls in the first quarter. But she was the only one on her team that was in double figures at that point. In the first quarter, she had 12 points, which is outstanding. And I think the team as a whole had 18 points at that point. So, like, yeah, she had 12 of the 18. It was wild. Unfortunately, Lasia Clarendon went out with a head injury from McCowan. She went into a screen, and her head hit the bicep of McCowan. And I hope they are okay. but I don't know. Like that's crazy. Going in for a screen and you have a head injury. I really hope they don't have a concussion. Unfortunately, also, one of the refs left the game because they had food poisoning. So they left them with only two refs with like 4 minutes left in the second quarter. And there was no backup ref, which I found crazy. Like, there's no one else who could step in for the game. So they were playing this game with two refs, and two refs is not enough refs. And there were so many missed calls, and it ended up going in Dallas's favor. There was a missed call. There was a hard foul from Monique Billings against Cameron Brink, and it literally flatlined Brink on the ground, and they didn't call it. They didn't even see it. I saw the refs were not even looking in the direction of what had happened. Then there was a quick touch foul against Brink on Monique Billings on the next play, and I was like, it's just a touch foul. I can't believe that put her into more foul trouble. She was at 3 fouls at that point. I think she ended up having 5 fouls in the game, but she didn't. She had to sit out that point, but she didn't sit out the whole game. But it was really hard because she was the only one really making points for the Sparks at that point. And then not long after that, they missed an elbow from Kaylani to Lee Euro's face. Like, she was getting the ball, but she closed out and hit Lee Euro in the nose. No call. Kurt Miller was pissed at that point. He ran on the floor screaming at the refs, and then the refs gave him a technical. So it was crazy. The fans were definitely not happy. They were booing, and they were upset as well, and rightfully so. It's like you not only are we down a ref, but then you're missing really crucial calls that are going in the positive for the Wings. Then the Sparks are not helping themselves, so they missed so many easy layups. It was ridiculous, right at the hoop. And then Arike Agumbawale was doing what she does. She was just hitting shots. She did go a little cold in the fourth quarter, but it doesn't matter. She was hitting her shots early. At the half, it was 49-42. And then at that point, Cameron Brink had 15 points, 3 blocks, and 3 fouls. No other player on the team had more than 4 points, besides Lee Giroux, and she had 5 points. For the Wings at that point, Maddie Segrist had 10 points, Arike had 13 points, and Tira McCowan had 8 points in 2 blocks. So you can see the difference there in the half. It was only Cameron Brink was really producing, and it just wasn't enough. Then there was another foul. Like I said, she got her 4th foul, and it came really late after the play. It was 2 whole seconds after the play they called the foul. And I'm like, should have just let it go, but the refs called it, and that was her 4th foul. She gets another 5th foul. I don't know when, but she does give a 5th foul a little bit later on. I do want to point out that LA is rocking. I've been to the crypto arena, and it is really fun in there, and they do a lot of cool stuff to get the crowd engaged. They did a lookalikes camera thing where they went around and put the camera on some of the attendees who looked like a celebrity, so it was all in good fun. There was also a point where they're just keeping the fans engaged and getting them to participate in things and having lots of entertainment. It's a really good time in there. I think they do a really good job with in arena entertainment. So anyway, back to the game. I would say like I said, the scoring was the issue really. In the third quarter, the Wings were very consistent with their scoring. They were scoring really well, and actually the Sparks really struggled to score at all in the third quarter. But they did get it down to single digits. At the end of the third quarter, it was 70-63, and then at one point it was tied to 76. Then they finally got the advantage. It was 76-78, their first lead since the first quarter, with 4 minutes left. And I would say at that point the bench was really starting to do something for the Sparks and actually create things. But at the same time, for the Wings, Monique Billings was going off. She was really showing the Sparks they made a bad call in waiving her. It was crazy that they waived her to begin with because she'd been with the team for 6 years, and they decided to waive her. I forgot who they waived her for. It was I can't remember, but I think they made a mistake because she's been incredibly consistent since she's been with the Wings. She signed with them on a hardship contract, and she has been consistently doing both defense and offense since she signed with them. And they were Dallas should have been tired. They had literally played last night against the Phoenix Mercury, and they won that game, and they scored over 100 points. But they kept that energy up somehow. And then the Sparks kept trying to hit threes, which I think that was their downfall. They were bricking every three, and it was like, stop shooting the three, just go in for the layups, for the midpoint shots. But they just kept trying to hit threes. Then there was another freaking hard screen from Enrique against Ari McDonald, and it was super hard. She went down. It looked bad, but she got back up. She said she was fine, but the refs didn't call it. They didn't see it, and I'm like, that's the issue when you don't have another ref on the floor. There's literally players getting injured, getting hard fouls, and it's not being called. That was crazy. Gets kind of crazy at the end. The Wings are up 83-80 with 36 seconds to go, and again the freaking Sparks try for a three, and it doesn't work. And then there's some back and forth. I believe I think Enrique gets fouled. Someone gets fouled. They shoot their free throws. They make one of two, and then at the end, Lexi Brown does hit a three. They were able to get a three off, but it wasn't enough because they only had 1 second left, and the game ends 84-83. They lost by 1 point. Oh, what a heartbreaker, because they really fought hard to get it back, but I feel like the fact that they were missing those easy layups, the fact that they kept trying to hit threes when they really shouldn't have been, that's the reason why they lost this game, besides the fact that the refs were not reffing because they didn't have enough people. It wasn't I can't believe this is a professional game and there's not a backup ref. That is wild to me. I can't believe that's even allowed, but WNBA always being disrespected. But anywho, the box score for this was Cameron Brink had 21 points. She had 21 points. She didn't have a lot of rebounds, but she had 21 points, three blocks. Actually, let me see. Let me make sure, because I'm not talking out of turn. I don't believe she had a lot of rebounds. No, she didn't. She only had 3 rebounds. It's kind of surprising considering how tall she is. Dearica Hamby had 19 points and 13 rebounds for a double-double. Dearica is always doing what she needs to do for this team. Lee Yuru had 10 points and 9 rebounds. She almost had a double-double. Like, go Lee. Lexi Brown had 12 points, and then Ari McDonald had 9 points. But for the Dallas Wings, Maddie Seacrest had 15 points. Monique Billings had 18 points and 12 rebounds, a double-double. She was like, y'all made a mistake. You made a mistake. You waving me. Tierra McCowan had 12 points and 2 blocks. Enrique Gumbawale had 20 points, not surprising. And then Sevgi Uzin, she had 11 points. So really great numbers for her and for the Dallas Wings in general. I mean, the Spark, they did what they could, but it wasn't enough. It really wasn't. Those layups really killed them. And that's how the game goes. But yeah, 84-83. It's not a terrible loss. They did fight really hard. It just sucks that they weren't able to pull it out. But there is always tomorrow. Well, actually, it's not. Tomorrow's Memorial Day. There's no games tomorrow. But games will, there'll be I think 3 or 4 games on Tuesday. So I will probably be back with that, I think. Although my partner's coming. Well, I'm in Mexico right now. My partner's coming on Tuesday, so we'll see if I am able to watch the games, because I'm going to hang out with her. I haven't seen her in weeks, 6 weeks, so we will see what this looks like for me in terms of calling these games or doing these recaps. But thank you for watching. If you care, if you like this, go ahead, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Later.